I'm astounded. I'm continuously astounded. In a good way, I think. But yes, there's so much garbage on social media, but I get so many secret private DMs from, big fitness creators, and I look at their pages and it's incredible. Like, look at me. and they have all these things on there and trophies and all these pieces, younger people. And they come into my DMs and say, Adam, I am crushingly unhappy. My wife is about to leave me and, nothing seems to mean anything. What do I do? But I don't even think that's a bad thing, because what's fascinating to me is these are men who at least understand if there's something too heavy for you to lift, find somebody who can teach you how to lift it. That's why I think fitness is a pathway to a better life overall, is getting into this just like you did. I will focus myself into this and learn how to grow, and then I'll have the courage to tackle those things that are more scary, that are harder to grow in. Have you? It sounds like that was your journey, was into fitness and then into the rest of manhood. Are you seeing young guys coming in? Are young guys coming in that you've seen? Is that their beginning for some of them? Is that the right beginning for fitness? If there's a guy at home, miserable, his wife is not happy, his kids aren't happy, he's not happy, do you think fitness is the first place for him to start so he can begin that journey?
I believe it's an easy pathway into getting started, yes. And it's not just for young guys. It's for middle-aged guys. It's for all guys, really, who comes that self-realization. And I think that's what fitness did for me. Like, people like to avoid their issues, but in fitness, and especially in bodybuilding specifically, you got to focus on where you suck. You got to focus on your, not your strengths, your weaknesses, and apply pressure there, right? So when you take that concept and apply it, right, because the fitness transcends across everything. If you apply it right, then you apply it to your life, or you apply it to your mindset, right? And so that's exactly what it was. Now I'm able to talk about my weakness is a bit better and attack that instead of like trying to hide it, right? And suppress it. And that's what a lot of people do, is they suppress, because nobody wants to talk about what they suck at. Nobody wants to do anything that they're horrible at. They just want to do the stuff they're good at and talk about the stuff they're good at. And yeah, that's what bodybuilding has taught me. But I'm seeing, guys that I work with, like they over time, they open up. And then when they get their life on track, they feel better about themselves. That's the first thing, is like, man, when can I do this? And they realize what they can accomplish if they just put a little bit of focused effort into something. They look better, feel better. And that's where it starts right there. And then they kind of want, okay, well, I want more for myself now. What else can I do? What else can I fix in my life and make better if I just apply myself a little bit and get the right coaching?
So there's also a biological change that happens when you start working out, right? You're actually changing your hormonal state. You're also changing a lot of the brain patterns that come with that. What are those, Adam? What is the science behind why working out helps?
And I've experienced this myself. I've recently been getting more into fitness, and I've had to. We had our first season. I did not like how I looked on camera, so I've been working out, losing weight, doing all of that. So I'm on my own journey, and I can tell you personally, it's the brain chemistry changes. Even if you have good relationships, like I do, your serotonin goes way up.
Is that what it is?
That's a big piece of it from the fitness. Your testosterone goes way up. Like, everything gets so much better, and you become so much more resilient against the uncomfortable parts of life. You get used to being uncomfortable, like you said a moment ago. You get used to pushing through and it being associated with something good. You get used to saying, "Wow, this sucks. I'm going to get so much stronger." Right?
So I had an interesting challenge there. So I'm a dad too. So my daughter's 6.5. I'm divorced. But there was a period where we spent a fair number of time alone with my daughter and I. And I really, at the beginning, just as my divorce happened, I started going to the gym hard. I did my 3 days a week, 2 hours. I had my circuit. I had everything that was there to kind of help me be stable.
I remember going with you. I almost died one time. It was horrific.
It was the easy one, man.
That was brutal.
We scaled you down. But that was good, because that was the beginning of your own journey at that point. You're okay, we need to move, right? We need to change something. It was
Absolutely.
Good. But the challenge I had, and the reason for my earlier question, was because I would come home, and then, it was just my daughter and I, and that, determination, exactly, that perseverance didn't work with, she was 3, 4, 5-year-old kid. I just didn't have the brain components to just be able to go and apply myself towards things like playtime, towards things that are communication. And in some ways, it almost felt like a little bit of a detriment. I did work through it over time, a lot with Adam's help, because I'm actually one of Adam's clients as well, and we've known each other for a long time. But sometimes it was almost too much. Like sometimes you kind of miss these gentler subjects. So I'm curious, how did you go from being like this absolute beast of a human, you know, like through your competitions, through all your accomplishments, towards being a good father? What's the story?
I did it clumsily. Clumsily, man.
It's okay. Life does not give style points.
It was a work in progress. I have a unique situation where I didn't work the typical. Now I'm into my fitness career and doing the online stuff. I didn't have the 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job like most fathers have to do, right? So my ramp up speed was a lot faster. I was a stay at home dad, right? Still providing for my family. And so at the time we owned a gym here in Calgary, and my wife was still having to man the gym. So she'd be at the gym in the evenings, but so the baby would be with me most of the time.
Wow.
Right. So so I
no nanny.
So I realized
no help, just with you.
No
Wow.
nanny. I read something a while back that said, the 0 to 7 is the most impressionable years of a kid's life. Lots of things get locked in.
Yeah.
And it's best that the kids spend as much time with the parents, right? Not somebody making minimum wage taking care of kids, with the parents as much time as humanly possible. So that's what we did.
If you like this clip, I know you're going to enjoy the full episode. You can watch it right here.